Hello, my name is Toeic. Today I'm talking about a short talk on strategy practice. Number one, first the speaker thank the people for calling the Starlight Streamers in phone line. And next, she announced that they were showing the thrilling action drama Lost in the Storm. And she said they had a show that day at 1, 3, 5 and 7:13 p.m. And she said all shows before 5 o'clock were half price. And she commented cold drinks, hot popcorn and other snacks were available for sale in the lobby. And finally she reminded not to bring outside food into the theater. Number two, further a speaker announced the president had met that morning with his advisors. And next she said, following the speech, he met two representatives of National Teacher Union. He had gave a quickly press conference, and during which he had outlined his plans for stimulating economy. And finally, the speaker said he had left that evening for a tour of the West Coast, where he would view area damaged by recent storms. Number three, the speaker was sorry about the fact that the number the customer had called were no longer in service. And next, he suggested hanging up and checking the telephone directory to make sure they had dialed the correct number. And he suggested calling the operator for further assistance. And finally, he said he suggested hanging up and calling 656 4900 to order a current telephone directory Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. Number four, first the speaker announced the museum would close in 15 minutes. And next he suggested retrieving our bags and clothes from the culture room. And he said they would reopen the following morning at 9 a.m. And next he suggested picking up the special exhibit schedule on the way out. Finally, he said he hoped they enjoy to visit that day, and they would return to see exhibit again soon. Number five, the speaker announced they still had some tickets available for Saturday afternoon soccer games, and he said a transportation on the company bus would be provided for the people who wished. And next he said if the people were interested in attending games, he suggested sending an email message to Mr. Kim in the Human Resource Office before 5 o'clock. And he said he suggested telling Mr. Kim the number of tickets they wanted, and whether or not they plan to ride the company bus. And finally, he said the tickets and bus ride were free. Number 6. First, the speaker said ordering by phone was easy for first-time customers, and it could save the money too. Next, he said, after they had chosen the item they wanted from a catalog, he suggested dialing toll-free number and pressing 1 for a special first-time customer line, and a customer representative would guide them through the ordering process. And finally, he suggested having the credit card when they call. Number 7. First, the speaker thanks people for attending that day's workshop, and next he said they were honored to have with our Professor Marty, a chairperson of a political science department at National University. And she said Professor Toeic, an expert in electoral and other several books on the subject, would lead in a discussion of the current political climate and the implication for the upcoming election. Number 8. First, the speaker thanks people for coming out that night, and next he said they had a wonderful program for them, and he introduced Dr. Jim would be accompanied by a phrase in a slideshow, and she said slideshow would be preceded by a brief musical performance. And next she said the students from the City School of Music would perform it. And finally he said following the lecture there would be a question and answer session. First, the speaker said traffic on Hartford Bridge was bad that morning due to an accident. Next, she said she saw road conditions reserved from last night's snowstorm called the icy road of the area, and called the moving slowly and a major rush into the city, and the buses were running behind schedule. Finally, he chatted, adding the time for getting to work that morning and being careful out there. Number 10. First, the speaker announced customers were asked to parking in the lot next door because that lot belongs to John's restaurant. Next, he said their car be towed if they would park there. And she commented if street parking was not available. She chatted parking in the lot behind the ABC supermarket, leaving the area by the front door free for delivery vehicles. Finally, he thanked for cooperation. Thanks for listening.